Hi, I'm Victoria Reyes, and today my audience is going to be three of my friends, and I'm going to allow them to introduce themselves now.
I'm Josh Smith.
I'm Haley Luther. I'm Zoe Paul.
Okay, and the title of my essay is going to be Nirvana. The purpose of my essay is to inform you guys of the band Nirvana and how their influence is still present today, even though they haven't been around for 20 years. In 1991, the world was first introduced to Nirvana with the single they released called Smells Like Teen Spirit. MTV was playing the song from morning till night. It was the first alternative rock song to actually break into the mainstream music scene, which is something that no other band had done yet. And according to Rolling Stone magazine, the album was actually selling 100,000 copies a day. And Billboard magazine notes that the song stayed at the top of the charts for 278 consecutive weeks. Smells Like Teen Spirit was considered the anthem of Generation X. And even though that was 20 years ago, the influence of Nirvana is still present today with the grunge culture that started out from Seattle. It came from Seattle onto the whole nation. And in 1992, Alyssa Vingen notes that Marc Jacobs released a line of clothing for a fashion show, and it was actually titled Perry Ellis, and it was a whole line of grunge clothing that no one had ever seen on the runway before. And even recently, just this last fall, Teen Vogue released an article online called Fall Fashion Finding Nirvana. Even though the band hasn't been around for 20 years, they're still making an influence on fashion then and now. And aside from their influence on fashion, Nirvana is still receiving recognition for the music they made. And 20 years later, they're still winning awards. They actually reunited for one time for a benefit, and they had Paul McCartney doing lead vocals for Kurt Cobain, who is actually deceased. They won a Grammy for a song they did with Paul McCartney that Kurt Cobain had written back when he was still alive, and they re-released it with Paul McCartney, and they received a Grammy in 2014. And also in April 2014, they were finally eligible to be inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, and they won that award. They also performed for the second time this year with people like Lorde and other female singers filling in for Kurt Cobain, and his wife, his now a widow, actually spoke for Kurt, and the band may have not been together for 20 years, but their influence is still continuing to take the nation by storm. They have an ever-growing fan base, and that is why they will continue to speak to the next couple generations, because they have such a powerful influence.